In my teens, I thought anyone over than 30 years old was ancient. And now that I'm 31, I realise how wrong I was. Because at the end of the day, you're only as old as the woman you feel. No, wait, you're only as old as you feel. So when my 48-year-old client Patrick came to me, stuck in a rut with his soft belly, pipe cleaner arms, convinced he was too old to get a physique that he felt proud of, I knew that he was in for a surprise. Because over the last 12 months, me and Patrick have been working together, and not only has he managed to reverse his skinny fat curse, he travelled all the way from Newcastle to Cardiff to compete in a powerlifting competition in front of a crowd of over 100 people. And he got super strong. And in this video, I'm going to break down step by step exactly how Patrick lost his belly, filled out t-shirt sleeves, and pulled just under a double bodyweight deadlift without hormone therapy, doing cardio, blowing his back, or waving goodbye to his social life for good. Before I show you the process that took Patrick from scrawny to brawny though, I need to rewind to 12 months ago when our journey nearly ended before it had even started.
Can you believe it as well, actually, right? This might have never have happened. Do you remember our first ever call?
I do actually, yeah.
Do you actually remember?
Yeah.
I told you not to sign up, didn't I?
No, you were kind of like, it sounds like you're doing all the right things, you know, so just kind of keep going. I'd run through what I'd been doing and you said, yeah, it sounds like you're doing the right things, you know, so.
I was thinking about that a few days ago. And then about a week after, you messaged me and you were like, everything you're saying on social media is me.
Absolutely, every time you posted on social media, it was like you'd read my mind almost from like the day before. So every time you said about, you know, what troubles skinny fat guys have with putting on muscle or losing weight or problems in the gym, every time I was like, that's exactly what I was thinking yesterday. That's exactly what I thought the day before. And I was like, right, do you know what? Enough messing around. Let's do it.
Yeah. And that's exactly why I get on a call with everyone who inquires about the skinny fat awakening. Because from having a phone call, I can assess, you know, what they're doing. I can give them advice and see if they're a good fit for the program. And, you know, if they're doing the right things, I'll tell them to keep going before we start working together. Because deep down, I knew later down the line, following generic programs, which Patrick was doing, and the diets that he was following, his gains would eventually come to a standstill. And that's exactly why I created the Skinny Fat Awakening in the first place. It's designed for guys like Patrick who spend a few years or months, you know, self-experimenting, making some gains, following bottom of the barrel basics, getting some training and dieting experience, but their physique doesn't reflect the effort that they're putting in. And the program is useful for guys as well who maybe used to be in relatively good shape, but for whatever reason, whether it's, you know, injury, kids, work took over, they got comfortable after getting married, and they find that they've let themselves go and they just don't know how to get back on track. And what Patrick says next confirms that.
So can you share a little bit then just about what life was like before you signed up?
Oh, terrible.
Depressed.
Yeah, hated it. So I've always had a little interest in sort of keeping fit and keeping healthy, but I just was never really getting massive results. I would go to the gym quite regularly for periods of time and I would enjoy it, but I wasn't seeing massive changes. And same with diet, you know, I was always reading something new, you know, do this thing, do that thing. You never really know who to believe, what to do. So I won't say life wasn't going anywhere, but you know, that aspect of my life kind of wasn't really moving in any direction.
And now you've got some insight into where Patrick was 12 months ago. Here's where it would be natural for you to think, you know, well, what did we actually do to help him reverse his skinny fat curse? So let's start with the very first thing I get my clients to do once they sign up. Now, it's no secret that as men hit 30, their testosterone levels start to decline. And as a result, their body starts clinging onto fat, their energy levels take a nosedive, and, you know, if they're not careful, they could lose muscle. Low testosterone is usually the cornerstone of how the skinny fat physique forms in the first place. So the first point of call was to get a nurse sent out to Patrick's home to get his bloods checked. By getting his blood checks, we could actually see what was happening and going on inside of his body from a hormonal standpoint. And it was no surprise when Patrick's result came back, his testosterone was on the cusp of being dangerously low, which is pretty standard for guys in their 40s to 50s. So our first point of call was to get his testosterone to a better place. And to do that, Patrick needed to get to a healthy level of body fat first. Now, the mistake a lot of skinny fat guys make is they think that they should be, you know, bulking, but adding more fat to an already fat body will plummet their testosterone levels even more. And when you pair getting to a healthy level of body fat with improving sleep quality, reducing stress levels, and adding in supplements varying from things like vitamin D to zinc and magnesium. Based on what his results of his blood work were, then he's in prime position to boost his testosterone. Now, Patrick had worked with a few personal trainers before, and here's how the Skinny Fat Awakening gave him confidence to sign up to get the results that he got.
Had you ever explored working with a coach or anything before?
I've had PTs in the past, and I'm not going to say that they weren't good or they weren't sort of doing their job, but your program was the first everything program, if you know what I mean. So mindset, nutrition, the workout step by step, and the money back guarantee. So all of that together was the kind of clincher of, okay, I'm going to give it a go. Just
for context, by the way, I better add this to the camera.
No worries.
When guys sign up to the Skinny Fat Awakening, they are protected with a 120-day money back guarantee, because if they do what I say but they don't get the results, then you literally get every penny spent, put back on their card. Thought I'd had that in there in case people are thinking, what the fuck's a money back guarantee thing?
And because of Patrick's hard work in executing the plan, knowing he could fall back on the guarantee gave him the confidence to give his all, knowing that if he did give 100%, but for whatever reason the program didn't work, he wouldn't feel embarrassed or get torn a new arsehole by his missus for wasting money. Now, as far as his training goes, Patrick came to me off the bat of a hugely popular training program, which is great for beginners, but often leads to plateaus after a few months. In fact, I did a video on the best and worst programs for skinny fat guys, which I'll link at the end of this video. Now, here's what Patrick had to say about following mainstream programs.
I mean, I love the 5x5 program.
It's great.
Love it. As
it's great for beginners.
It's amazing. You see that progression with the weights. But, I don't know. Maybe I've done it for so long that I was just getting a little bit bored of it. And I wasn't seeing the body transformation with it as well. So whilst my weights were going up and I was enjoying the lifts, I didn't feel that I was reaping the rewards from it.
Like, you'd be forgiven for thinking that Patrick trained 5 or 6 times per week, but he was actually only training for 3 days a week for around 60 minutes per workout. His program was built around the 4 muscle building principles, which I elaborate on in the video that I link at the end of this video. Now, as important as boosting testosterone, following the right diet, training program, optimizing sleep, reducing stress levels were, that was one part of Patrick's journey, which was invaluable to him.
I think that's probably another reason why getting a coach makes a difference, is that you're accountable. You've told someone that you're going to do these things. How can you possibly turn up on the weekly call and say, "Oh, I didn't do that. Why didn't you do it?" I couldn't be asked, or I didn't make time. How many times can you turn up and say that? You've got to be accountable to someone. So
Amazing. What would you say to someone who is thinking, am I over the hill? Am I past it? Am I maybe genetics holding me back because past experiences haven't worked out for them with other programs? What would you say to them?
You give it a try. What have you got to lose? With the money back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. You've got to put everything. You've got to follow the program. You've got to do what Stan says. But if you do, you're going to get results.
Good. I think
you can't not.
I think that's good advice. Sometimes you got to fucking dive with 2 feet in, and go for it.
So if you've been sitting on the fence, catching splinters in your ass, wondering if the Skinny Fat Awakening is for you, the link to inquire can be found in the description below. And here is that video that I was on about. Thanks for your time and attention, and I will catch you soon.